Well, hello there, and welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. I'm Debbie Georgiani with Jerry Usher, and as we've been saying for the past 5 years in one day, and you are the key person. And we just want to hear from you because with your takes, your lived experiences, we learn a little something, we grow, and hopefully we get closer to God. It's our anniversary week. I can't even say that. Anniversary week, Jerry. 5 years ago in a day, we kicked off Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. And then over 1,300 live shows later, over 10,000 calls later, and an equal amount or even more of emails, actually double of emails later, that more than double, almost 24,000. That's amazing. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, well, God has been good to us. He's been good to our listeners, hopefully. And we invite you to call in today. And what would you like to talk about? Because you set the table. This is our Unscripted program where you bring the topics, anything that is going on in your life, in your world, anything you want to comment about, a past show, make a suggestion for a future topic. Phone lines are open for you to take it away here at 833-288 EWTN, 833-288-3986. It is Unscripted during our anniversary week, and Michael Birchfield, our producer, put together a beautiful survey that it only took 60 seconds to take. And so you guys took the survey, and then we took the top 5 shows, and we put it on for this anniversary week, and this is what you wanted. Unscripted was one of them. You love Unscripted because you get to bring to the table anything that's on your mind or on your heart, and we discuss it together as the body of Christ. I love that, Jerry, and we learn something, and that's really important. So please join us. Like Jerry said, here's the number, 833-288-3986. You know what unscripted shows remind me of? When we have done a few of the retreats around the country that we have hosted and had people join us, and we have so much beautiful time, usually in the evenings, as you'll recall, Debbie, to sit around and enjoy a snack and a beverage. Campfire talks, yeah. And it's just beautiful to hear what is on people's hearts, and we love to share what's on our hearts as well. So phone lines are filling up right now already, but there is still a couple phone lines open if you want to join us at 833-288-3986. Unscripted. You write the script, actually, today. Absolutely. And we enjoy these conversations because, like we said, we may not always agree. Okay, so it's a healthy discussion, and we see if we can come out of it with a better understanding of our own faith life, what it means for others as well. Because remember, we're supposed to be Christ-like when we go out there into the world, and it's very important we have these conversations because let's face it, folks, where are you going to have them? You're certainly not going to have them sometimes on Facebook. I entered into one conversation about spirituality on Facebook, and I thought, okay, that's the last one I'm ever going to enter into, that thread. It was just all over the place, and people were walking away with just not good feelings about one another, and that's not a good thing. I don't think that's what Christ would want for us. 833-288-3986. Bring to the table anything that you want to talk about. Yeah, and speaking of social media, maybe you are on Facebook quite a bit, or Twitter, and any of the other social media, and you see some of the contentious dialogues that are going on, and maybe you've just decided, hey, I'm going to take a little respite from social media, and tell us how that feels for you. Or maybe you jump into these conversations that Debbie is talking about. Share what kind of conversations are of interest to you right now, things that are concerning you, that are on your heart. Boy, Debbie, as I was reflecting just today on 5 years ago launching the show, I thought, my, oh my, who would have thought 5 years from when we launched it, we'd be going through all these things that we're experiencing right now. But we did it together. We did it together. Yeah, but it seems like such a much more, innocent time back then. It sounds like we're, sitting around talking about our retirement or something. Well, remember way back when. Oh, boy. We are really... We're dating ourselves here. Okay, yes, we are getting up there in years, folks, but so are you. Every day, every day we're getting closer to when we enter into eternity. So this is why we do this show, is to talk about it and to grow closer to God. So think about it for a minute, but don't wait, because Unscripted is a very popular show, and especially during anniversary week, we know we're going to hear from a lot of our listeners. Now, remember, I shared that we've had, over 1,300 live shows,
10,000 calls, close to 24,000 email correspondences. That's not including social media. Okay, we've had all this interaction. Have we grown closer to God? That's what we want to do. That's the goal. So how do you feel about that? Do you like this format? Do you like this idea of hearing other faithful Catholics and Christians and non-Catholics as well who step up and want to share how much they love and depend on EWTN? I mean, this is a beautiful format, a safe place for you to come and share your thoughts and feelings. 833-288-3986. Okay, that's the way to do it. Now phone lines are filling up.
They are.
Hey, Jerry? Yeah.
That's correct, and they are going to be completely full in a moment, which we are grateful for. Debbie and I could, as we say, we could sit here and just banter about things that are interesting to us, but we want to know what's interesting to you today on our Unscripted show. It's 833-288-3986, and boy, as you were reciting those statistics, Debbie, I thought, wow, 24,000 or more emails. What would you say? 10,000 calls to the program, 1,300 shows.
Calls and communication, and 1,300 live shows. It's actually, I think, 1,305 or something, but I rounded it to 1,300. Isn't that amazing, though? Yeah. That many topics. We revisited a lot of topics because at your request, but most of them were really new or new angle to it. I think that's so. So if you have a suggestion for a topic, please call in. Now's the time to do it during the Unscripted show, 833-288-3986. I didn't mean to cut you off, Jerry. You were sharing the stats about the 5 years of Take Two, but it's just pretty exciting to see what we did together as a family.
That's right. If you've never called in and there's something you would like to discuss today or just share that is on your mind, on your heart, be a first-time caller. We get a lot of first-time callers to the program, and Debbie gives you the virtual first-time caller bell, so that's an exciting moment for you right there, I'm sure. 833-288-3986. We're going to get started on your phone calls here in just a couple of moments, and before we do that, we're going to get a break here in just a second.
Well, and Jerry, I need to share something with our listeners. Coming up in just a few minutes, you are going to hear the voice of the very first call. The very first call to Take Two. So many people are asking, who was the first caller? Well, we have her on the line when we come back. This is Unscripted. Take Two with Jerry and Debbie, 5-year anniversary week. Join us.
Want the latest pro-life news? Want it delivered? Sign up. It's free. EWTN Pro-Life Weekly, your source for everything happening now in the fight to protect the sanctity of human life. New episodes delivered every week to your inbox. So if you really want to know,
sign up today.
Go to EWTN.com/pro-life today. EWTN, communicating the faith.
And I wanted to tell you guys how great your show is because I listened to you guys for every day for the past 5.5 months. It's because of you guys that I came to the Catholic faith. Now I'm going to church on Sunday for the first time because I just got out yesterday from jail. And I got my mom to go too, and my girlfriend is also going with me. Wow. She's willing to give the Catholic faith a try.
EWTN. Live truth. Live Catholic.
There's all kinds of prayers. There's all kinds of ways of praying. There's all kinds of methods of praying. There's a Salesian method, and Francis de Sales, and Ignatius of Loyola. There's Franciscan methods and Dominican methods, and you name it, we got it. But sometimes we depend on a method too much. St. Teresa said that prayer was conversation with God. Do you have a hard time conversing with people? No, I don't have a hard time. Well, that's how it is with God.
Hello, everyone. Janet Benkovic here to wish a very happy anniversary to Debbie Georgianni and Jerry Usher as they celebrate their 5th anniversary on Take Two Live. It's always been great preceding you on the air, and I wish you abundant joy and abundant blessings in the Lord. Congratulations.
Well, it's so nice of Janet to do that for us. She, of course, has been on the air a little bit longer than we have with a very, very successful program, both on radio and TV on EWTN. And speaking of other programs, one that I've actually been blessed to be called upon to guest host once in a while, it's Cresta in the Afternoon. Catholic convert and author Al Cresta spotlights people from all walks of life and talks with them about their personal faith experiences, and a very, very important program heard here on most of these EWTN stations from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday.
Okay, we have a couple open phone lines. A few people dropped off. That's okay. You may have had a second thought, or you wanted to email us instead. You can email us at take2 at EWTN.com, or you can call in at 833-288-3986. It is unscripted, so you bring to the table anything you want. And yes, I was talking with this fine lady yesterday, and I said, you just have to call in. You are the very first caller to Take Two. We've gotten emails saying, what do you have the name of the very first caller? Now, we're going to have to clarify something. Was this a test call, or was this a real on-air call? But it doesn't matter. Let's introduce her. It's Michelle Johnson from EWTN, Director of Communications out of Birmingham, Alabama. She's listening on EWTN.com. Michelle, welcome.
Thank you so much, and congratulations to you two. 5 years. I cannot believe it's 5 years. It seems like it was only yesterday that we were on the phone testing to make sure everything was good and that, you know, the open for people. And it's just, you've gone beyond, I think, anybody's expectations. It's just such an important show, and I'm just so happy to have been a very, 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 very tiny part of the beginning of it. So can you all give me an idea? I have a question.
Okay.
Okay.
What has been your, do you have a favorite, like if you look back over the past 5 years, what was your favorite, can you remember a call that was like particularly touching to you, or where you felt like the call made a real difference? Just something that sticks out in your mind as when you're sitting around talking, the two of you. Do you remember that call? Was there something that was really special to you?
Jerry's going to know where we're going with this. Go ahead, Jerry. We talk about this all the time, Michelle. Good question.
You talking about Tina's call?
Yes, Tina. Go right ahead.
This is actually, Michelle, you kind of sprung this on us, so we weren't prepared. But I think Debbie and I are on the same page here. We did a show probably a year and a half into the history of Take Two with Jerry and Debbie, and it was kind of a do-over show. You know, if you could do one thing over again, what would that be? And we got this very, very beautiful call from an individual named Tina, who had actually had a transgender, a sex reversal surgery, and went through all of that, and had lived that way for quite a number of years, if I recall, Debbie. And then she called in and she says, you know, I understand now how God creates us and how I was created, and I was created in love to be who I was, you know, in God's image and likeness. And she actually was, I think, in the process of reversing that, wasn't she, Debbie?
She was making some really big changes in her life, Jerry and Michelle, and I will tell you exactly. Tina was the biggest, and there's been others that have come, you know, so close to that. But the reason why I think it really touched Jerry and I so very much is because she felt safe enough to share. See, I'm going to cry. She felt safe enough to share her story, and she knew she wasn't going to be judged, and she knew that she could help others, and she knew that she wanted to share it with people that really cared, and so that has really impacted us and shaped the way we create a safe platform for people to share. We may not always agree, but to share so that we can learn and grow. So yes, in answer to your question, Michelle, I wholeheartedly agree with Jerry that Tina definitely stands out above others. But I can tell you, recently, our dear friend Alicia, another big caller to Take Two, and her story is incredible, and others as well. There's so many, and that's why we compiled that first book with loved ones who've left the faith. Because of this reason, Michelle, we get so many emails, and they share their story, their complete story with us. They take us into their lives, and that has made us feel, you know what, this is why we do this ministry. So thanks for asking, Michelle. No one's really ever asked us before, and we didn't plan this, but I'm glad Jerry and I both agree.
Wow, that story gives me the chills when you were saying it. I mean, it shows the importance of your show and a safe place. There are just so few places nowadays. People are mostly screaming and yelling at each other and, talking past each other. And, I think having a listening ear, which you guys do, and such wisdom to share is just so valuable and important in a time like this. So I thank you for what you do.
Well, thank you, and we thank you right back for what you do as Director of Communications for EWTN. That's a big job, and you do it so well. And thank you for being our very first caller, whether it was a test call or a real call. You are the first person, so now we can solve that when we get the emails. But Michelle, Jerry's awarding you. He named it, Michelle. Don't blame me. We give out virtual awards, and he named it you're the 5-year bookend award. Okay.
All right, I'm honored. Thank you, Jerry.
You bet. You can be expecting that in your virtual mailbox here shortly.
Okay, I'll be looking for it.
Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle, for this wonderful anniversary call.
I wish you 5 more years.
Oh,
okay.
25 more years.
Oh, don't do that to me, Michelle. I've been at this long enough already.
Thank you, Michelle. God bless you. Have a beautiful and blessed day. Okay. Hey, Jerry, isn't that great? So Michelle got the virtual 5-year bookend award, so that's going to be great. I love that. We'll have to virtually send that to her. Jerry, why don't you share real quickly? I know we've got a special message coming up, but I want you after the message to share about your mom, because this reminds us of Michelle's call and your mom. How sweet is this? Look at the connection you made there.
Yeah, well, I can share that in a minute. But as Debbie said, some of our affiliates wanted to offer some thoughts. And by the way, thank you, affiliates, for carrying the program. Because without you, we have no platform to even be on the air at all. And Michael Birchfield, our producer, is going to play one of those announcements from one of our affiliates right now.
Hi, Father Brown. Do you know what popular EWTN program shares a 5-year anniversary with AM 1260 The Rock?
Bernadette, I can't begin to guess who that would be. Who is it?
Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
You mean our friend and Spirit Drive host, Debbie Georgianni, and her co-host, Jerry Usher?
Yes, exactly.
Their show is on Monday through Friday at noon on AM 1260 The Rock. I listen whenever I can.
Yes, and we know by the callers they get that many of our rock listeners enjoy their show as well.
On behalf of our listeners and everyone at AM 1260 The Rock in Cleveland, Ohio, happy 5th anniversary, Jerry, Debbie, and everyone at Take Two, and best wishes for many more.
Wow, that's exciting. We share a 5-year anniversary with The Rock in Cleveland. Beautiful. Thank you, Father Brown and Bernadette, for that beautiful announcement. Debbie was referring to a minute ago. I was helped to create Catholic Answers Live, and we launched the show in 1998. I hosted it for about 9 or 10 years. And I was just sharing off the air how my mother was, I think, maybe the very first caller on that program. And she used to call on every special occasion, anniversary shows, on my birthday and things like this. And I used to jokingly say, Debbie, my mother is, I'm one of the only people in the world whose mother knows where her son is every day, between 3 and 5 p.m. Pacific time.
Right.
So that's
so cool.
Yeah.
So your mom, Dorothy, right?
Yep. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Yep. She was the first call. Michelle's our first call. Okay. So now we want to move on to some more calls. Clarence is up next in Worcester, Massachusetts, listening on Emmanuel Radio. Hi, Clarence. Thank you for calling and waiting, and welcome.
Oh, thank you, Debbie. I'd like to talk about seeing this as unscripted. I'd like to tell us a little something about myself. I'm 90 years old. I have 10 children. I lost my wife about 3 years ago. And talking about my family, actually, is that it was difficult, raising a large family, but now at my age and everything, it's really been a blessing. And I'm really happy that, we had the 10 children, although, it was a difficult journey. What I'm really concerned about is, of course, you realize I'm a pro-life person. And one of the things that's really not mentioned about pro-life, and I think a lot of people are losing out, is that as parents, we have souls that have to be saved as well. And maybe, unfortunately, there are some out there, when they consider abortion, do abortions, they don't realize, what damage they're doing to themselves and to their own souls. Is that, we're on a pilgrimage and on a journey ourselves, and part of our life is, is to respect life and to help these people that we bring into the world to save their souls. So a lot of this, so it's really not mentioned very much. We're talking a lot about saving the children, and it's wrong to kill babies, but it's also wrong to kill our souls. And I think that's an important part that's not really being addressed, and it's left out. So those are just some of my thoughts about that. Some of the fruits of the Holy Spirit is chastity and modesty, and that helps us, to direct our lives and to, earn our way into where we're going. Yeah. God bless. That's my message.
Well, before you go, Clarence, real quickly, I just got to circle back to the very beginning. And I don't know if you know this, that we keep a book of those that are living, of the Take Two family, and those that are deceased. And you said your wife passed on 3 years ago. If you feel comfortable giving us her first name, we would feel so honored to enter her into the book. But think about that for a second. But I just want to ask you a question. Did you say you're 90 years young, Clarence?
Well, yes. What's wrong with that?
Wow. Not wrong. I think it's phenomenal. Your voice sounds like a 50 or 60-year-old. Has anybody ever told you that?
Well, yes. I've been accused of that, yes.
That is amazing. God bless you. God bless you. How wonderful is that? Could you share your wife's first name? Do you feel comfortable?
Yes. Her name is Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. I love that name. Well, real quickly, Clarence, I just wanted to say, you're bringing up really important issues and issues that we should all be addressing on a regular basis, because it's about us getting to heaven, right? We're all working towards getting back united with God. Unfortunately, we're in a culture and a climate that when you ever bring in and somehow weave in God, you're usually met with some kind of resistance. So we have to create ways and platforms and spaces for us to engage in that healthy dialogue that can further us along on our spiritual life. I would say that if people have an opportunity, if they see an opening and it's calm and emotion can be checked at the door, and you can really talk about what it means for all these important issues like sin and what that does, how it breaks the graces that we can receive from God, and how it keeps us distant from God. I say we should take it, and we should feel bold enough and brave enough as Christians to enter into those situations and those conversations to help each other grow. What do you think, Jerry?
No, I think you're right. I think this is the forgotten conversation that Clarence is bringing up right now in the culture in which we live, and that is, of course, the most innocent, the most vulnerable of all. And I keep going back, my mind keeps going back to a quote that I think was attributed to St. Teresa of Calcutta. And it could be that she said this, could be that she didn't. I don't know. Sometimes you hear things that people just are kind of floating out there, but something to the effect of the fruit of abortion, or the fruit of it, the logical extension of that, of abortion, is nuclear war. And what she meant by that is, if you're comfortable, so to quote unquote, taking the lives of the most innocent, the most vulnerable people of all, whose life won't you take? And you could possibly understand 30, 40, 50 years ago, people possibly being in favor of abortion for whatever reason. But now with advances in technology, we have ultrasounds, we have everything that you can look inside the womb and see the child right there from the earliest stages. There's just there really is no longer any excuse remaining. And I just want to tag on to that too, that we've done a show, Debbie, you'll remember we did a show on post-abortion, asking women to call in, and men, whose lives have been impacted by abortion. It was absolutely one of our most beautiful shows. And the key thing is that God's mercy is always there. For anyone who has been involved in an abortion in any way, shape, or form, you are not beyond the reach of God's mercy. Please just turn to Him. There's mercy, there's forgiveness, and there's healing available.
And we've got to thank really brave folks that are out there, like Abby Johnson in the movie Unplanned. And there's all sorts of ways we can watch what really the truth is, and get more of a well-formed conscience to help us be in this world, how to really interact with others. So I agree, Clarence, completely. We need to have more of these conversations, not shy away from it, because when we do, then how are they getting their truth? They're getting everybody's getting their truth from their next person they encounter, or their climate that they're in at school, or something of that nature. Clarence, you really gave us a shot in the arm there to keep going. That's what it sounds like, and keep having these conversations. And God bless you. And we had another listener text in and said they agree. Your voice sounds like you're 50 years old. So keep up the great work,
Great
Clarence.
call,
Thank
Clarence.
you so
Thanks.
much.
Father John Riccardo.
When you and I wake up every day, do we strive to know Jesus or not? Quick question to you and me right now. Is that what you and I are doing every single day?
The leading Catholic voices are on EWTN Radio.
Hey, Take Two family, it's here, and we can't wait for you to see what we've created to help you reach your highest potential in life. It's StandTallToday.com, our brand new website loaded with just the things you're looking for. Those include our team of life coaches, resources picked out just for you, our webinars, book club, and more. Whether you're struggling to find your purpose or feel like you have it pretty much figured out, let us help you today at StandTallToday.com. That's StandTallToday.com.
Hi, this is an EWTN Bookmark Brief. I'm Doug Keck. Just had the pleasure of speaking with the one and only Chris Stefanik about his latest work, I Am, Rewrite Your Name, Reroute Your Life. So what's the format of this book? How did you lay it out?
Very simple daily meditations to help you form a habit of speaking truth to yourself and replacing the lies. Video programs, the same thing. Short video meditations just to lead you through a process of renouncing the lies and accepting truths from sacred scripture.
And do you know what the web address is for the videos?
It's on reallifecatholic.com, and if you click on the coaching tab, or coaching.reallifecatholic.com will bring you right to it.
You'll be able to get the videos along with also checking the book out through our EWTN Religious Catalog. Thank you, Chris. Chris Stefanik, look for his wonderful programs on EWTN as well. That's the title, I Am, Rewrite Your Name, Reroute Your Life, published by Real Life Catholic, available through our catalog, of course. And check it out there, and check us out next time. And thanks for stopping by this Bookmark Brief. Look for the entire interview coming soon on the network as well.
I'm Gloria Purvis.
And I'm Deacon Harold. The Morning Glory team remembers the Emmanuel 9.
Tomorrow morning, 7 Eastern. Now back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Hi, this is Deacon Harold Burke-Sivers from Morning Glory, congratulating Jerry and Debbie on their 5th anniversary of Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. You guys are engaging the EWTN family in a beautiful way. Congratulations, and keep up the great work.
Oh, thanks, Deacon Harold. Great program there, too. Morning Glory with Gloria Purvis, Monsignor Charles Pope, and Deacon Harold Burke-Sivers. And today, this is our 5th anniversary week of Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. We're celebrating you, the Take Two family, who have really made the show what it's been all of these 5 years. And we have an unscripted show, open lines today. Anything you would like to discuss at 833-288-3986, and we're going to go back to the phone calls here. Judith is in Fitchburg, Massachusetts, listening on WQPH 89.3 FM. Hi, Judith. Welcome to you.
Oh, good afternoon. Oh, and thank you for being there. You're such a wonderful radio couple, and your voice is so calming and so friendly all the time, every morning. Yeah.
Thank you. God bless you.
It's
Thank
wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
The subject matter, I would love if we could start an organization, just as we did for 40 days, and to protect the life of the unborn, the person we really don't see, protect the life of the elderly that we do see. And I think the purpose that nothing has been done before is because they think, well, they've lived their lives. We don't have to organize anything. But I think we do. There's too many seniors that have become victims, and you may not know about it or read about it, or maybe up north or in the East Coast more so than the mid of our country, but it's there. It's prevalent. And once before, I think you had something on, and you had the prayers for the elderly, and there's many groups that kind of prey on them. And people say, well, you already have senior centers. No, they don't care very much about that sort of thing. And we need people that are a safe place to go, just as you are, but locally, or a phone call locally they can handle. Because these are not safe, they're not easy to find a source. They're always looking to take money or take credit cards or Social Security cards, or there's always something going on. So we should really start an organization that seniors can go to if they're in doubt and they're in fear. And that's what I want to talk about. And thank you for being here.
Oh, well, you're welcome. We're only here because you're there, Judith, and thank you for your thoughts on this. I think it's beautiful. There is the movement 40 Days for Life, and if you go to 40 Days for Life, I think it's .com, you will get information about that, and that is where people peacefully spend time in prayer for 40 consecutive days, sometimes around the clock, 24 hours a day, sometimes not if there's not enough people. But praying for the unborn. And Judith, you're suggesting that something similar maybe should be done for the elderly. I think, that I mentioned a few minutes. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, well, more than prayer. Prayer always needed for everyone. But more of an organization or a home phone or something where they can always find a safe place to talk, which we don't have. And I'm elderly, and I found that to be true. Those who most of their relatives might have passed, and they are alone now and not sure what to do, we need a safe haven for them all across the country, just as your voice is there as a safe haven for us. But many don't have Internet. We have to think of that as well.
Right.
And I think that's another reason they may be preyed on, because they're not that savvy. And they don't have the phones and the technology that you take for granted being in business and out in the world every day. Things like that. We need to be there and help them.
Mm-hmm. That would be very beautiful, because, like you said, the seniors are often preyed upon by scammers and so forth, and not only that, but you said the loneliness and just wishing that they had family around. And the thing is, we live in I mentioned a few minutes ago how the unborn are that's one of the lost conversations, I think, with our elderly population as well. And we live in such a utilitarian society that even family members sometimes, Debbie and Judith, sometimes family members can kind of forget to be there for their elderly loved ones, and it has to be just a horrible thing to go through. But being in this utilitarian society where we think, well, they're no longer useful, but they're infinitely useful to God and to other people, to their family. They have so much wisdom to impart. So I think Judith has a very great idea here.
I agree. Judith, maybe you might want to share some of your ideas with your local area, your parish, and even I know there's other ministries that are all across the United States that talk about creating little kind of parish communities within neighborhoods and stuff, and grouping people up and having people check on one another and using the old-fashioned telephone to call one another and to check on them and to so that they can stay connected. I'm a complete believer in that, Judith, and I will tell you, having a mother who's 89 years old, and I've been one of the primary caregivers for her for the past 10 years. Okay, I've worked with a lot of seniors now in 10 years. Okay, because I was on every single place that she was at, and every rehab place and hospital and everything when things would happen medically. I will tell you that it's unfortunate, but our beautiful senior population is being forgotten forgotten sometimes, and we do need to start it up again. Yeah, we need to start it up again and raise awareness. And I would love to see some of these young people who have a ton of energy, okay, maybe channel some of that energy towards respecting the elderly and sitting with them and listening to them and maybe gaining some wisdom. I would just suggest that, because there's a lot of 16, 17, 18, 19-year-olds have a ton of energy, and they can do that. They can do multiple ministries, multiple activities, okay? And it would be great to have that. And I think it would bring a sense of vitality and just a sense of, even fun.
New energy.
New energy, right, to the interaction. What do you think, Judith? I think we should start something, and maybe, there's folks listening all over the world. Maybe they'll pick up the phone and call their parish right now.
But our local station, WQPH, and our president there, Marianne Harold, has been wonderful. And we would love to start something through the station. But again, it's very difficult to get through to the people because the phones and there's no internet. What you think is easy in everyday life is harder for the seniors who might not have the contacts they need, and to find them and to bring them out and talk and be useful again. And for the seniors to help with the 40-day people, that's where the connection should be as well. Help with those pregnant young women and whatever. All right. I'm sorry to take your time.
No. Don't ever. You were fabulous.
Local, the local station could do something. It would be wonderful.
Yeah. And it can start out small. Right, Judith? It can start out small, maybe with a handful of folks, and it'll grow from there. And when you get believers together and they can form they used to call them front porch communities or something of that nature. There's all these different terms for it. And it's bringing people together and letting them, share their faith, feel safe, like you said, ask questions, feel like people care. That's important for our growth at any age. We agree with you, Judith. What do you think, Jerry? I think Judith might have started something here.
Well, and I think sometimes it's just a matter of awareness. Sometimes we forget about certain people and groups of people and so forth. And if we can just stop, sometimes we're so quote unquote busy with life that we just have to be reminded. And if we stop and just reflect on these things for a minute, we will go, maybe something should be done. Maybe I should be one of the people who do that. And just for information for our listeners, Debbie mentioned on a note she wrote to me something about Stephen Ministries, and that's also a good, they're an existing organization that I know works with people of all ages, but they're at StephenMinistries.org, and Stephen is Stephen, StephenMinistries.org. Judith, thank you so much. Bless you. You've got a great idea there, and we pray that something might catch on here, and God will provide some kind of a resource for the idea that you have. Thank you so much.
Okay, Sherry was waiting, couldn't get on yesterday, and so called back. We always invite our listeners to call back, and we bump them up to the front of the line. And Sherry's in Riverview, Florida, listening on Alexa, and we welcome her to Unscripted. Hi, Sherry.
Hi, Debbie and Jerry. So nice to talk to you. And I congratulate you on your 5-year anniversary, your second day into it. I listen to you all the time. Thank God for EWTN. I cannot get the radio station here in Florida. I've lived here 3 years now, but I actually could get it anywhere in Indiana where I'm from. And I miss it in the car. I really miss it in the car. But I always have my Alexa on. So if I'm in the kitchen, I have one in my bedroom, so I never don't hear you guys. So I don't even know where to begin. I have a friend. Yesterday it was going to be a talk about my son who does not go to church. But today I know you're talking about abortion, and I have to share this with you. I will give you a little bit of update. I'm almost 74 years old. So my kids are older. My son's 38 and my daughter is 43. They're both adopted. I have a friend that has 2 children. She is a retired school teacher, and her husband was a retired principal. They are Presbyterian, And as far as her believing in abortion, she does believe in abortion. We've never been able to really sit down and have a conversation like human beings, because she talks over me and my emotions get the best of me. I want to cry. So right now she's been on the bandwagon and telling me that I need to vote Democrat because we got to get this crazy Republican and all the Republicans out of, which she knows my view on that. And so I said to her when she was telling me this, I said, I know God doesn't care about politics, but he cares about human life. And I said, I'm going to vote for a president that believes in the freedom to keep those babies alive and born and to stop abortion. And she went on and on about it. And she's told me more than once, well, you believe this because you have 2 adoptive kids. And I said, I don't believe. That's not why I believe in it. That's what God teaches, do not kill. And so I started in on, well, what does your pastor say, about this? But they only go to church on Easter and Christmas. They're Democrats, and they believe every policy that the Democrats put out there. And I told her I didn't believe in watching TV anymore because they're so negative, and you don't know if you're getting this true story from the news. And she said that I needed to become aware of politics and use my brain and don't believe the lies about abortion because they're all lies. And I said, I have seen, parts of babies on medical trays before. I told her I've seen things that I tried to tell her, and she said, you haven't seen those things. That's not real. It's heartbreaking. And I think our friendship now is on a tightrope. I pray for her every single day. She's a bitter woman. She, as a retired school teacher, believe this or not, she has said for years, for at least the last 20 years, that a lot of the kids in her classroom should have never been born, that they should have been aborted because they're stupid or they're poor, and that when they grow up, they get in abusive situations, and they should never be born because then they suffer with, abuse. And I said, people that are not poor suffer abuse. I suffered abuse as a child. Sexual abuse. And she said, well, that's not the same thing. It's a lot worse if you live in a poor household and you have poor parents. And I'm thinking any abuse is bad, but she was always coming back to me with something that she just wouldn't listen. I got off the phone and I cried and I cried and I cried. I wish I had the words to say, and I get so emotionally upset that all I say, God, is just give her, change her mind, soften her heart, have her look and see and research, like she's telling me to research politics because she said I'm dumb on it and I need to be more, up and know what's going on in our country. And I want to say to her, well, you need to know that about abortion, but I don't do that because that's just not my personality. I don't know how to handle this person. I haven't called her back. I've texted her. I still pray for her. Her husband has cancer. He's got like 5 more years to live. She's gone through a lot, but so has everybody else. But a human life, I can't seem to get her to understand how sinful that is. And if you have any faith, and you know that God does not want that.
Right.
So well, do you have any?
Yeah, a couple things. Sherry, you shared kind of a snapshot of this, in great detail, which we appreciate so very much. I mean, you shared about her own life and what she's going through with her husband and everything, and then her past in education and how she felt about certain situations and what she observed. It just not making just looking at this, just from what you shared, she's very she's got a lot of woundedness. There's a woundedness showing through in her words just based on what you shared. Okay. And so what can you do with a person that is wounded? It's very difficult. Let me share with you, because most wounded people will resist any type of assistance because they're not at a place yet where they can start to heal from anything that's internally going on. So what you're doing, in my humble opinion, is you are doing the best thing possible and the most powerful thing possible, and that is praying for her. I would just add one little thing if you haven't done it already. I would ask and pray to your guardian angel to go to her guardian angel, because remember, she's got a guardian angel, and guardian angels, if they are allowed to do their ministry work properly, that was ordained by God, instructed by God, okay, they will help to illuminate the mind and strengthen the will. Okay, now, she may not be given her guardian angel permission to work in her life or even acknowledging her guardian angel, but you can help that along a little, because remember, everything is connected in God, everything. And so I would definitely do that and watch the fruits of that. But for you to feel troubled about trying to win the debate, if you will, I think it sounds like she's so locked in her position. The best thing to do is enlist an army of angels and saints to help you with this in prayer, and then turn it over to God, because there's not too much more you can do. You've done it so beautifully up to now. She sounds like she's locked in it, and it's her at this point, it's her own will that's stopping any forward movement or any enlightenment, if you will. What do you think, Jerry?
I think that was absolutely beautiful what you said. And there are organizations like Silent No More and others where, women who have been involved in abortions, had abortions, and even men, I presume, are involved in these ministries. They have the opportunity to speak out about how their life has unfolded post-abortion. And if you talk with virtually all of the women who have had an abortion, who kind of recognize some things that have unfolded in their lives subsequently, they would tell you that they would regret that decision and would go back and do it over again anytime. But you can't make the argument in favor of abortion because of any external circumstances, like, well, this child is going to have a horrible life if they're allowed to live and so forth. This has to be based solely on who and what a child is from the moment of conception all the way up through natural death. So I would say, Sherry, Debbie, I think, had the best advice. If you can just be the best friend you can be, pray for this friend of yours, get your guardian angels together. And I would say, ultimately, if it causes you so much angst to be with her or to spend that time with her or have a close relationship with her, maybe put a little bit of comfortable distance between you and her, and just let her know that you're there for her if she needs anything.
Yeah. I never give up on her, and I've tell her I pray for her all the time. She lives in another state now, but I always say I pray for you every day, and she never says it back. So I don't think her faith is strong. But can I share this real quick with you about guardian angels? I do believe in guardian angels. I have since I was a very, very young girl. I went through a lot. I had sexual abuse growing up by my father, and the mercies that I got from God and my guardian angel watching over me, I was always a happy child. I never dwelt on it. After it happened, I didn't think about it, and I've grown up to be almost 74 years old, and I think I'm pretty stable. So, I will tell you, the guardian angel, actually a miracle. I was driving to visit my daughter and son-in-law and grandkids in St. Louis. I was on Highway 70, had my cruise control set at 70 miles an hour, and there's a lot of semis on that highway, and I fell asleep. And the next thing I knew, my car was heading to the mile marker, and I was going to hit a tree. And I woke up just like in a second before I was killed. I turned my steering wheel, and I couldn't get the car straightened out because my wheel was going back and forth so fast. And I couldn't hardly keep the car on the road. But then I finally thought, thank God I didn't put my foot on the brake, because if I had it, I would have flipped my car. So everything worked out. And for months, I thank God and my guardian angel, because I know without them, I wouldn't have made it. So
Absolutely.
I have a lot of faith, a lot of strong faith. And I don't not love her because of this. I am going to keep praying for her, and I'll pray about her guardian angel too. So God bless both of you guys for all the awesome work that you do. And Sorry, I rattled on.
No, not at all. Sherry, you are a beautiful soul, but you're going to have to tune back in on Friday because that's one of the other requests from our listeners. They wanted to do a guardian angel show, so we're going to talk all about guardian angels on Friday. And yours is very active in your life, so I would definitely engage your guardian angel to help with your friend and keep us posted. We're interested. Thank you so much, and we just for gracing our conversation. You're a strong woman. You've been through a lot, but you're a thriver, and I love that. Thank you.
Thanks, Sherry. I want to just quickly mention that EWTN Radio Essentials is on the air, and it used to be, well, it's going to be again at some point, God willing, soon, EWTN Radio Classics, but is temporarily EWTN Radio Essentials, and this is for during the time of the pandemic and the shutdown. Things are thankfully opening up a little bit more, but EWTN has you covered with things like Holy Sacrifice of the Mass every 2 hours, rosaries, chaplets of Divine Mercy, Stations of the Cross, and other devotionals every hour. You can hear EWTN Radio Essentials on smart speakers, the EWTN app, and at EWTN.com.
Okay, we're moving on to Vicki, and Vicki is in Denver, Colorado, a first-time caller on Catholic Radio Network. Hi, Vicki. Welcome.
Hi there. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I started delivering restaurant food to people since March, and so I sit and listen to EWTN on my radio all day. And I've had this issue that has been going on for a while with my son, and I just have been praying, okay, which radio call show should I listen to? And when you started this out today talking about issues with Facebook and ignoring Facebook, and I'm just like, okay, that's God telling me this is my day to call. We have 6 kids. Our oldest is 28, and he is living with his girlfriend. She is also from a Catholic family, and neither of them go to church anymore. It was once he moved out to go to college, within a year, he just quit going and then met her, and so they have no intention of getting married, and he's a lot like the friend of the last caller, just horrible things about the president and about the Democrats and now about all the police officers, and just posts horrible things and horrible language, and it just hurts me so bad. And I think, oh gosh, how is Jesus feeling with this if I feel like this? But the latest post he made was in reaction to Colorado finally just got on the ballot to not allow abortions after 22 weeks. Praise God for that, getting on there. And my husband and I both signed the petition to get that on the ballot. And he posted about that news and saying how horrible it is that we're actually going to vote on this. And he said that it's awful to force a woman to continue with a pregnancy, to have a baby, or to force them to have an unsafe abortion. And it's violating their human rights and their privacy. And I just sat and cried for like 2 days.
Mm-hmm. Vicki, for the sake of time, forgive me for jumping in here, but we're going to hear the closing music for the show in just a moment. This is so sad. It's so unfortunate, not just with your son, but so many of our young people today, young adults, people, like you said, he went off to college and basically there went his faith along with it. And, you said, if you feel this pained about it, how would Jesus feel? Yes, we have to believe that Jesus is very, very pained over all of this. But it sounds like you as parents have, again, planted the seeds. We talk about this all the time. You have done your work. You've done the best that you could. And if you just be that gentle, loving example to your son, those seeds that you planted are going to be watered, God willing. Debbie, the girlfriend is from a Catholic family as well. So they both know in their hearts and in their consciences what is right. Let us hope and pray. I'm sure you're praying nonstop, Vicki, that those seeds you planted will come to fruition.
Vicki, so sorry I won't be able to comment because we're running out of time, but if you can email us at take2@EWTN.com, I'll happily share some comments and thoughts about what you shared. Michael, we agree. We need other folks to pray for those of us. If you're going back to Mass, pray for those of us who can't get back to Mass yet. We totally agree. Tomorrow is about guilt. Do you suffer from guilt? That's tomorrow's show on During Anniversary Week. Until then, have a beautiful and blessed day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Dr. Ray Gurendi, making a commitment to the wives. When the show's on, put the radio under your husband's pillow. The percentage of yes dears will rise. The doctor is in next.
EWTN is now on Twitter. Get short, timely messages from EWTN on your computer or cell phone. It's easy to stay up to date on a wide variety of topics. Pro-life news, Vatican announcements, catechesis, apologetics, the latest EWTN programming, and more. You can link to EWTN on Twitter from our homepage or go to twitter.com/EWTN. At work, at home, at school, and on the road. Stay connected to your world with EWTN's Twitter page.
EWTN. Live truth. Live Catholic.
The call, a call from God. Sister Mary Jacinta shares her experience.